Hey, hey, welcome to Live with Lynn. So today I want to talk about 5 great ideas that Coach John Wooden learned from his father. If you're here, say hi. If you are watching the replay, be sure to type replay below so we know you're here. And, I do a lot of reading and personal development. I really believe in that. And so every morning when I get up and every night before I go to bed, I try to read something that will help me grow as a person. And one of the favorite things I love to read is Success Magazine. But and they talk a lot about different kinds of success, different people who are successful. And so this morning I read an article about Coach John Wooden. He was a basketball coach. He was famous. He very successful. And the thing is that I follow successful people. Because success leaves clues, right? Success leaves clues. So if I hang around with people who are successful, it's going to change the way I think. It's going to change the way I talk. It's automatically going to happen because I'm hanging around with people that think differently. You have your successful people who we're going to talk about how people think when they're successful, and then we have the victims. We have people who are not successful because everything about them is a victim and they can't help it. And we don't want to be that way. We want to be successful, right? So one of the things that he lived his life by, this was really important to him, was a quote by Eleanor Roosevelt. And it was, "Great minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, small minds discuss people." If we made that our mantra and just live by it, it's amazing how different our life would be. I'm going to say that again. Great minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, small minds discuss people. So this quote is a real key to understanding how John Wooden became so successful. In his life, the greatest influence in his life was his father, and it was Joshua. Joshua Wooden was his father, and his father was an amazing man, and he set a great example for his kids. But he used to say, he firmly believed that small minds discuss people. And so this kind of discussion never happened in the Wooden household because his father would never say an unkind word about anybody. And Coach Wooden described it this way. He said, "My father refused to speak in an unkind word against anyone. I know. I tried to get him to do it. My older brother, Maurice, especially liked the game. He would start a conversation and then ask my father for his reaction or response. But my father knew that we were trying to lure him into a slip-up, so he would just laugh and refuse to take the bait." So, Joshua Wooden had a great mind, his father did, and he consistently discussed great ideas with his sons because great minds discuss ideas. So he spent time with his sons talking about ideas, not about people, right? And so Coach Wooden describes some of those experiences. He says, "We had no electricity, plumbing, or conveniences. And for entertainment, Dad read books to us in the evening by the light of the coal oil lamp. Sometimes we'd hear Alfred, Lord Tennyson's Idylls of the King, Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven, or even William Shakespeare. Before we were sent off to bed, he always would include a verse or two from the good book." So that's how he raised his sons. That's what Coach Wooden grew up with. That's pretty powerful, right? So in addition to that, here's a few other ideas that Joshua Wooden discussed with his sons. And these are great ideas, which is why I wanted to talk about them today. So here's number one. Remember this: you're as good as anybody, but never forget that you're no better than anybody either. Don't look down on anybody. That's pretty powerful. We're all equal, and I really believe that. I'm not perfect. I judge people when I shouldn't, but that is something that's just powerful, and we are all equal. Nobody is better than anybody else. Nobody is less than anybody else. I mean, obviously, there's people who are more successful and less successful, but that doesn't change who they are as a person, right? That does not make them a better person or a lesser person. So here's number two. Never try to be better than somebody else, but always be learning from others. Never cease trying to be the best you can be. One is under your control, the other isn't. Wow. So that is, it's not under your control to be better than somebody else, but it is under your control to learn from them and to better yourself, right? Here's number three. You never know a thing that you didn't learn from someone else. How powerful is that? I mean, none of us wake up knowing everything. None of us are born knowing everything. And everything we learn from somebody else, somehow, some way, right? Whether it's reading a book, whether it's in person, whether it's on TV, whatever it is, everything we learn in our life, we learn from somebody else. Next one, don't whine, don't complain, and don't make excuses. Just do the best you can. Nobody can do more than that. So true. Again, so powerful. You know, making excuses and whining and complaining, where does that get you? Does it get you to where you want to go? No. Sometimes it can be really frustrating when we don't achieve what we want. I get frustrated to no end, but when I get frustrated, I try to figure out where I went wrong or what went wrong, and make that course correction, right? Whining and complaining about it does no good, and all it does is it keeps you mired in the mud. It just keeps you down instead of rising above it. Let's see, next one. Great leaders give credit to others and accept the blame themselves. That's a true leader. I really believe that. That's a true leader. So when you see somebody doing something, give credit to them, but take responsibility for everything. So if something's not going right somehow or another, you take responsibility for it and you fix it, right? You fix it. Doesn't even matter what it is. When you take responsibility for it or you accept the blame, as a leader, if you're leading people, then in a way it is your fault because you're leading them if something didn't go right. But even if it wasn't like you specifically did something that caused it, still you're there and you're responsible and you're going to take responsibility for it because that's what a true leader does. So, so the next time that you're in a conversation, it may be beneficial to be mindful of what is being discussed, people, events, or ideas. So I'm going to say that again because I love this quote. Great minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, and small minds discuss people. So what are we going to talk about today? Where are we going to go today? And that is something, I'm going to put that up on the wall where I have to look at that every day because that's really powerful. I want to be talking about ideas and exploring ideas. I don't want to be talking about people. So what about you? What ideas do you have? What do you think? What are your thoughts on this? And what suggestions do you have? Or what thoughts do you have on any of these points that I pointed out that were from John Wooden? Anyway, I appreciate you being here today. Get below. Tell me what you think. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And have a great day. I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.